Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. Ex-wife 33 female won't stop trying to contact me and it's me up. I'm a frequent lurker in these infidelity subs and I just started this sham account to seek some help. Also, since English is not my native language, please pardon any grammatical faults. It's been more than 6 months since D-Day, 5 months after my divorce, and I'm still looking for help. I don't have enough time to give you my whole tale, but here's what I can say. We had been married for 5 years, had a terrific life, and had decided not to have children until we were both 35. I pretty much caught her having with her AP in our bedroom. I had been extremely clear about my feelings on infidelity when we first began dating, and I had informed her that cheating was a definite no-no for me. I remained cool during the incident, ordered her to dress, and then contacted her older sister, who lived in a neighboring town, and requested her to take up my wife. I blocked her on all sites and discussed the divorce with my lawyer. The following day, they drove back to my place, and she flung herself into me and sobbed uncontrollably. She wanted me to give her the opportunity to explain herself. I sat down with her and asked her some questions, even though I didn't want to hear any of it, and my response would still be divorce, whether she cheated 100 times or just once. My first query was it an emotional or physical affair? She appeared stunned for about 5 or 6 seconds before tears streamed down her face, and she complained about how I could imagine she'd have an emotional affair with someone other than me when she swore it was just. My second inquiry was, were you dissatisfied in any way with our marriage? She said she wasn't. She was very pleased with both our life and our financial situation. So, what was the reason? I don't know, she replied, completely broken down. She went down on her knees and expressed her displeasure with herself. She mentioned she was going through a lot since she wasn't performing well at work, and she wanted to verify her own significance in her mind. She often spoke to me about her job as well. I totally backed her, and she was also in treatment for it. Even though I didn't understand her reasoning, I didn't go too much into it. How often were you physically involved? She said there was just 3 occasions of physical contact, and she reportedly never let him kiss her. I'm not sure whether it was meant to make me feel better. That was the end of it for me. I informed her that I want a divorce. Surprisingly, she said nothing and just nodded before going to the guest room and locking herself in with her sister. 13. Unfortunately, our district fell into lockdown before I could serve her with the divorce papers, and movement between districts was restricted. As a result of this sad turn of events, it seemed that I would have to spend a whole week with my wife in the same home, and I would be unable to file for divorce since the courts were closed. But I wasn't having any of it. I chose to leave and live at the home of a neighbor instead. That helped a little. I'd still see her on a daily basis. She had dark bags under her eyes and puffy eyelids, and she didn't look like herself. She got very intoxicated one day, and I heard her yelling in her room, "Don't I disgust you? You're not even allowed to stare at my face." She said it again and over throughout the night. Another time, I ran into her on the street in front of our home while she was chatting on the phone, and she instantly freaked out and cried, "I swear I wasn't talking to him." My colleague was the one who did it. After some time had passed, she looked to have realized her mistake and walked away without saying anything further. They had departed a week later, and I had returned to my place of business. I completed the divorce process about a month after starting it. As a surprise, she did not make any demands on me in the settlement. Even after 6 months, she was still messaging and contacting me. When I was ill with COVID, she drove almost 50 miles to come see me in the hospital. I haven't been feeling well lately. I still admire her to this day. I almost felt sorry for her because of the earnest way in which she expressed her regret for her mistakes. However, there are times when I just want to cut her off and restart the conversation. I'm not sure whether I'll ever be able to love or marry again, but I've had a few in the last 2 weeks or so, and to be honest, it feels better than it did before. I'm not sure I'll be able to continue if we continue to talk like this. My instructions have been ignored, and she seems unconcerned about my presence. Is it better if I just block her from all of my locations? Even though I really don't want to do her any damage, she hasn't given me much of a choice. What should I do in this situation? Story 2. Boyfriend cheated online with prostitute. All of you gentlemen and ladies should use caution. After much trial and error, I learned that there is a website called doublelist.com, which functions as an online dating service in the same vein as Craigslist. My partner was discovered cheating on it 2 days ago, and has been suspended from the relationship. Here's the story thus far, as well as where I'm right now. If anybody has any advice or encouraging words to share, please do so. I could really use them right now. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to read this. In addition, since I'm telling the whole story, there will be some graphic language. We'd been dating for about 1.5 years when this happened to us. Let me also clarify that we were living together at the time and that he had shown interest in marriage, children, and future residences with me. He was contacting several online prostitutes and was making extensive use of a website called Double List at the time. I intercepted his email, gave him some naughty photographs, and was actively looking for this lady on the internet when I finally caught up with him and had a proper conversation with her. Sent images, then she supplied nudes, and when he inquired as to her fees, she responded that she charged $25 for a blog, $50 for intercourse, and so on and so forth. After that, he expressed his interest in the subject. "I'd love to have it inside of me," adds the female, and this is the most awful moment that I can't seem to get out of my head for some reason. He lied to my face on a number of occasions regarding a variety of issues. So who knows what else transpired throughout our communication session. I informed him he needed to find a place to live and that I was ending our relationship. He's staying with several of his friends. He's displaying a great deal of remorse, and he's urged that you get professional counseling. I didn't say anything about therapy until he brought it up to me, explaining that it was to help him live with lying and understand why he cheated, among other things. If he's trying to win me back, I've told him to if he even considers anybody while trying to win me back, which he seems to be doing. Speaking of which, deception can only get you so far. Eventually the truth will come out, and if someone is found cheating, it will always be someone else. Before and after forgiving him, I'm also trying to set some boundaries for him, such as aiding him in acquiring health insurance and seeking the services of a therapist, to see whether he really follows through and changes, because he does not have health insurance coverage at the moment. I also wanted to mention that I was first using his phone to search for something on Google when I started writing, and the site appeared in the recent searches when I started writing, and then I searched through his junk and discovered the message in one of his trash emails with this, which I then deleted. It was initially denied by him, and he lied to me multiple times before finally coming out and telling me and admitting, saying it wasn't my fault or anything to do with me, and that he didn't go through with it, which I kind of believed because I found that in his trash emails, so it looked like he didn't go through with it, then deleted it. But then I saw that the last time he was on that site in his history was last Thursday while I was at work. So it was only because he was online and looking that he discovered the emails from that day. The emails were from November. My chest is thumping with excitement. My heart feels like it's been ripped out and replaced with a 1,000-pound weight on my shoulders.